Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to today's video. So we are back on Sword of Convallaria, and before the global release on the 31st of July, in today's video I'm going to talk about a few pointers that you guys might want to know before hopping on to the global version yourself. So just now I mentioned that this game is going to get the global release on 31st of July. So the very first pointer is, how am I really playing the game? What is this thing that I'm showing on screen? So this thing, right, it is sort of Convallaria, but this is the Taiwan version. So everything is in simplified Chinese. So for those of you guys who can't read it, this is not the alien language, this is simplified Chinese over here. And if we visit the official site for this game, this is the CN server, soc.xd.cn. So 铃兰之剑, this is simplified Chinese. This is soc.starforce.tw. This is 铃兰之剑 in simplified, no, this is traditional Chinese, so the more complicated way to write the words in Chinese itself. And then we have sort of Convallaria, which is the English site, right? This is the global version site. So this is where you pre-register for all these rewards over here. So if you guys haven't pre-registered yet, pre-register over here. I'll link this site in the description down below. So that's for how we are able to play the game and what is this version about. So since we are on the Taiwan and CN topic, Taiwan and China topic, right, in terms of the release schedule so far, I realized that this game is getting a weekly update on all the Taiwan as well as the China server itself. It means that contents are coming up pretty consistently, be it new character banners, new events, right, or even like all the mini games that is available in the game itself. So that's something to look forward to if you are looking for a game, right, which updates itself consistently with a backlog of around 6 months worth of content itself. This game is definitely worthy of your choice. Okay, so this is Sword of Convallaria, already available on other servers. So since this game is already available on other server, another advantage that we are getting is that we can see what are some of the character banners coming. So this game is managed by XD Indie Game, which is also the manager or the publisher for the game on the global server. Okay, so we will be able to roughly predict what banners are coming, right? What's the release schedule like, and we will have a first glance as to how this unit will perform moving forward. So that's another, I'll say, good news for us, although that might probably restrict the creativity side, because some of this information, they are really well done, and I found some really in-depth and good guides out there. So that's for the CN Taiwan version thing. Okay, so that's for the updates as well as the future game contents coming into the global server. So now let's move on to the banners, since we were on the topic of the banners itself. So now I'm going to go back into the game. So for the banners, I think this is something that most people would be interested in, right? What's the numbers? How does the banner look like? So far, I realized that most of the banners are double character banners so far. Okay, so this is a single character banner. So this is the rate where the character drops 2% for the UR, 20% for the SSR, and then 40% for the SR side. So in this banner, the guaranteed summon comes on the 180 summon. So 180 180次内必得当期 up 角色. So you definitely get this character every 180 summons. Okay, and if you're able to proc for the 2% earlier, this character has a 50% of dropping. So this is for the single character banner. Okay, and then if we take a look at the double banner character, we have double banner character 75% drop rate from the 2% UR drop rate with this 180 guaranteed. So within 180 summons, you are guaranteed one of these character, and if you proc the UR summon earlier, you will be able to get one of these character at a 75% rate itself. So this is the same for this double character banner over here. Okay, so this is the same. So the rationale for me showing you guys the gacha system is to show you guys how this gamba system, how the gacha system in this game works. But the numbers shown over here might change on the global server. We do not know. We have to wait until the actual release to see whether or not this number remains the same for us on the global release itself. So that's for the banner up. And right, there's also the weapons banner up. So weapons banner up works pretty similarly to the characters one, but instead of guaranteed banner up weapon in every 120 summons, you're guaranteed one every 60 summons. So right here, 60 times before you get the selected weapon over here. So that's for the character banner itself. So in terms of the characters, do you need multiple copies to use the character? The answer is no. Why do I say that? Because for the character upgrading itself, the character duplicate is only used for the talent portion of the character. You can upgrade the character's level with EXP, which is obtainable from the game itself. You can also upgrade the talent of the character with in-game resources, which are farmable from the dungeons. And for the weapons itself, obviously you get better weapons off the gacha, but you can definitely play with, I'll say, lower graded weapon that is farmable from the game at the late game part. So that's for the weapon side. So the only thing that will give you more advantage with duplicate copies is through the talent over here. So this will give you better stats across the talent, and you can actually farm for these shards on a daily basis within this dungeon known as a memory research. So 记忆巡回. So in this dungeon over here, you will be able to get duplicate shards of the character that you fill in the battle for the dungeon. So ideally, you want to fill all your UR characters, so you will be able to get their duplicate shards over here on a daily basis. So with enough patience, planning, as well as resource management, you should be able to enjoy the game in terms of farming up your characters, right? Even if you are going to be a free-to-play player. So that's for the character shards. Okay, so yesterday I showcased the PvE game modes, which are your story dungeons, resource dungeons, as well as the character story arcs itself. So in today's video, I'm going to showcase the PvP game mode, so that you guys have a better grasp as to how PvP actually works. So this is actual PvP because there's a lot more planning, there's a lot more strategic element, because for this game mode itself, you're able to plant infrastructures all with different abilities to aid you in your defense. So based on the levels of your infrastructure, you'll be able to get better infrastructures, you'll be able to get better abilities. And on the defensive side, this is how it looks like. So for the offense, you will be planting your unit at the bottom left hand side over here. So this is where the enemies will come from. This is where we will be putting our units. So I'm able to reposition my units by dragging them. So all those green boxes are where I can put my units, right? So you can see there's a lot of places I can put my units. So each unit have different movement speed, different movement tiles. So putting them correctly will affect the outcome when it's controlled by the AI on the defense. And you can also plant different infrastructure based on your defense levels. So later on, I'll talk more about how to level up with all the resources outside. So right here, we can put a barricade, we can put a fire trap, we can put a normal trap, right? We can put flags to buff your team, we can put this tower to attack the enemy. And the goal for the defense is to defend these two infrastructures at the back. So if your enemies can sneak up from the left hand side and right hand side and then bring down these two infrastructure, they can also win the battle. So like I mentioned earlier, later on I'll showcase the gameplay, right? This PvP side, you can manual the stage yourself, or you can let AI run the team for you. So that's, I'll say, like a neat feature for you guys. For those of you guys who are more hardcore into mini details, this could change the types of battle. So that's for the PvP side. So how do you upgrade the levels of your towers? How do you upgrade the levels of your infrastructure? You're able to farm for this resource known as the 示弱的荣光. So I just call it the PvP resource. So you're able to farm for up to 300 per day, at least based on my limit right here. So this resource is used to upgrade your facility over here. So I'm able to upgrade my level for my field with 600 EXP. So let me shift my portrait a little bit. So this is how you upgrade the defensive structure. So higher level for your fountain or your land, right, unlocks more infrastructure, and you can also upgrade the respective defensive infrastructure to get a better abilities of them. So that's for the defensive structure side. So that's for the PvP side. And other than that, you're also able to get all these mission points over here, which will give you this resource. So this resource, I think it's all a one-time resource. I think this is all one-time because there's no reset timer. Or maybe is this a weekly thing? Let me just check. Give me a moment. Okay, so there's a seasonal feature. So based on your glory points, you're given different tiers. So the lowest tier is black metal. Then we have emerald, we have silver, we have gold, and then we have diamond, and then we have platinum, right? So I think that's the grading system. So each season, right, you have this grading system to farm for points. And I think all these missions over here, as well as the rewards, they are all on the season basis, so they probably will reset. So that's for the PvP side of things. So we are left with 12 more days for this one. So that's for the PvP side. Now I'm going to showcase the gameplay with one of the pre-recorded clips so you guys can see how it plays out with the auto setting. Okay, so that's it for the PvP side. So I fast forwarded the video because I realized that there's a lot of things to talk about, and I'll probably save the PvP side of gameplay for another video in the future anyway. So I'm just going to show you guys the gameplay from this one. So once you are done with the battle, right, I'm going to put my portrait on the left hand side. So you will be able to get the currency as I mentioned earlier. So this currency is your daily rewards, as well as a resource you use to power up your infrastructure to bolster your defense. So that's for the PvP side of things. And let us move on. I'm going to end off this video by talking about the story side, the progression side. So how the progression for this game looks like is basically battles after battles with a little bit of story in between. And for the battling part, it consumes 30 energy to unlock the dungeon, but once you enter the dungeon once, you can actually re-battle again, right, to get your max star. For example, like my dungeon 2-3 over here, I only got 2 star because I failed the clear in 6 rounds criteria, and then I can actually re-challenge it without consuming energy. So it's fine if you don't get your 3 stars because re-entering the dungeon after you clear it does not consume energy, right? So energy management is going to be one thing to look out for. So you can get more energy with gems, obviously, and you can exchange for more energy with the energy potion. So you can buy this from the store. You can also get it from the freebies that the game is going to give out in terms of the freebie side of things. I think it is already in one of the rewards, so this gives you more energy to play. So that's for the general PvP progression. So in terms of gameplay wise, most of the dungeons, like I mentioned yesterday, will require you to have energy. So the story dungeon, the resource dungeon requires you to use energy, but the Key of Destiny, the rightmost dungeon so far, does not consume the same energy used for this other dungeons itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for just additional PvE information. Thank you very much for tuning in, and do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more from this channel, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.